Hello, it's me, Britt from Yoga Dog Fitness here in lovely Florida at a friend's house. And been kind enough, so I'm going to do my video right here at this beautiful pool for you. This is the Power of You stretch/yoga class. You can make it, it's modifiable obviously for postures, it's modifiable for you, and it's modifiable for time. So we're going to try to do, you could do 30 seconds to 1 minute, things like that on each posture. Try to move with breath, as yoga is a union between movement and breath, combination of all those things, mental, spiritual, physical. Pick what you want, leave what you don't, okay? Leave what you don't like. But we try to move with grace. That's why moving or going with the flow. Try not to work against yourself. Try to go with yourself. If something is stiff or sticky, things like that, back off. Exhale. When you exhale, the muscles will release. And there we have it. Simple, easy peasy. Let's get this. Let's get going. All right. Again, come on down. We are going to start with 3 sun salutations in just a moment. And we're going to do some things, again, modifiable. If you're having any issues with your back or your hips or things like that, and something doesn't look right for you, don't do it. You can rest in child's pose. You can always take a break. And of course, you can always pause me. Let's just start with a few breaths. Sit comfortably. Tall through the spine, broad through the chest, shoulders down, and then a tall line through the top of the head. As you inhale through the nose, feel the chest expand laterally. You can breathe into the belly if you like. And as you exhale, pull your belly button towards your spine. Let your shoulders drop. Let your face relax. Hands as you like. Let's do that a few times. Inhale to the depth that you like, and exhale. Maybe trying to make your exhales just a little bit longer. Inhale. You'll feel the side of the ribs expand. You'll feel the top of the head grow a little taller. Maybe you might even engage the glutes as you inhale. And as you exhale, corner of the eyes soften. Shoulders relax. Just do what you can, don't do what you can't. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. All right. We're going to go on hands and knees. So I'm going to roll over onto the side. So meet me in hands and knees. Hands right underneath the shoulders. Knees right underneath the hips. You can spread your fingers wide. You can tuck your toes back under and just for a moment, just rock forward and back. So warm up the wrists a little bit. Warm up the toes. Try to tuck your toes under as you sit back. Maybe stretch your toes. Poor little toes in the shoes all the time. We got to get them out. Spread your fingers wide, when you're walking around. Spread your toes. Walk around barefoot at a safe place for your feet, right? Just back and forth, and maybe side to side. Again, breathing. Doing what's good for you. So if you're not familiar with sun salutations or namaskars, you will be. That's the nice thing. Again, try to move with breath, and if you can't move with breath through each movement, that's why they call it a practice, right? And then come back center. So do tuck your toes under if they're not already. Hands underneath the shoulders, brace to the core. Pull your belly button towards your spine. Push firmly into your arms, and then lift your knees off the ground, and then into what's called down dog. Now here you pedal it out. You can come down to the forearms if you want, and you can always place a knee down if you just want to stretch one leg at a time. I do like to show modifications. That's good for you. And breathe. You can widen your feet together, whatever. Some people have a really wide down dog, and some people have a really short down dog. We're trying to be somewhere in the middle. Pedaling out the feet, bring the chest towards the tops of the legs. Shake out the neck. Breathe, breathe. And then look towards your hands and just walk your feet up. Now you can bend your knees, whatever you need to do. Right? Hands on the shins. And then lengthen through the back. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Pull your belly button towards the spine. You can even give a little waggle. Exhale, forward fold over the legs. Right? Just take a breath or two here before we move on. Just shaking it out. You can hands on the shins, opposite elbows. Just moving around. Micro bend to the knees, come back center, chin to the chest, and roll up one vertebrae at a time with an inhale, all the way with your arms up overhead with an inhale. Reach as high as you can, get some length through the body. And if it's all right, press your palms together and bring them down to your heart. Or you can always bring your hands to the sides. Here we go. We're going to do 3. Inhale. And exhale, we're going to swan dive down, hands on the shins, flat back, bracing through the belly and the core. We're going to drive the spine long like a rocket ship, all the way from the tailbone to the top of the head, and exhale, forward fold. You do want to place your hands down on the ground, so bend your knees if you need. And as you exhale, you're going to walk your feet back. You can drop your knees and lower down with some kind of upper body strength. All right, release the legs. Take an inhale as you push up. So you don't have to push into a big cobra, just a little bit of extension of the back. If you ever want to warm up your back, you take your hands off. If you ever want to get more of a stretch, you can press into your hands, but do what's good for you. Maybe bring your feet together, bring your legs together, and squeeze your glutes a little bit. Exhale down, tuck your toes, push straight up with or without knees, and pull back into down dog. Let's take 5 breaths here. So we'll do 3 sun salutations, but we'll take 5 breaths. In traditional Ashtanga class, you would take 5 breaths when you got into down dog for each sun salutation A, and then sun salutation B. Sun salutation B adds in a chair posture and a warrior. Let's do 1 more breath here. Again, you can always have forearms or knees. And then as you inhale, look towards your hands, and exhale, bring your feet up to your hands. Now you can, tiptoe up or big step. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then you're going to inhale to rise. You can ragdoll that with a bend of the knee, tuck of the tailbone, all the way up to the vertebrae with a big inhale to the sky. Oh, and then hands to the heart with an exhale. I'm going to do that 2 more times, moving a little bit faster. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hands down, feet back. And with the same exhale, you're going to lower down with or without the knees. You're welcome, put your knees down. And then inhale, cobra of your choice. You're going to exhale, pulling back to down dog. You can tuck the toes or not, pushing up with some kind of upper body strength and back. And I know we're doing a stretch class, but we're still warming up a little bit before we stretch. Let's take 5 breaths here. If you're like, oh my goodness, my arms, good. Lower down. Do some child's pose, kind of sway, forearm. If you need to get off your wrists, you can do what's called dolphin. There's always a modification. It's not anything mandatory. It's you know best. I like to sway left and right a little bit. Stretch the QLs, quantum lumboris, and the back. And then inhale, look towards the hands. And then as you exhale, again, maybe you want to tiptoe up. Maybe you want to jump up. And then inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Now this time I'm going to show you reverse swan dive. It's the glutes and not the back. So we're going to squeeze the glutes, brace to the core, and lift up with a flat back, having your glutes squeeze you up. And your back's just going for a ride. Inhale. Then exhale, hands to the heart. We're going to do 1 more. Inhale, big inhale. Exhale, down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands down, feet back. Same exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. 5 breaths. Last time. Now you can always lower 1 knee and stretch the other leg back. If you like, you could drop the heels right and left. Or you could just hang out there and breathe. Nothing wrong with that. Let's do 1 more. Inhale, exhale. Good. Look towards your hands with an inhale. Walk your feet up or jump or hop, however you like. Inhale, half lift. Don't waste it, right? This is a posture all on its own to get some length out of compression. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to inhale to rise. I'm going to roll up ragdoll style this time because it feels good. And I change the arms, outer arms, or maybe to the front, to the side. What feels good? How are your shoulders? Exhale down. All right, widen your feet. Toes come off the mat. We're going to go into Malasana squat. Then come down. If you need, you can use a block or something behind you. And if you need to hold on and lean forward, whatever you need to do, right? I'm going to move left and right. So a little squat left and right. And then we're going to come to seated. So if you need to, you can always step back with one foot and lower down. But I'm just going to kind of lower down. Because that's exactly what we're going to do is the next loosen up is roll like a ball. So Pilates move and in yoga and in fun. So pretend you're 5. It's easier if you bring your heels away from your glutes, a little harder if you keep your heels in. So remember to round your spine. So you really want to tuck your tailbone under, and you want to keep your chin to your head. Because if you go back and rolling like a ball and your head's back, you're going to whack your head on the ground. So don't do that. We're just going to roll like a ball. Right? So you can grab onto your legs. That's all. I'm going to keep my chin to my chest. I'm going to keep my back rounded. So I really like this. It feels really good. If you don't, you could lay down on your back and just do kind of cat and cow on your back. Just moving your pelvis around. All right, let's go one more time. And then we're going to do that actually, cat and cow. So come all the way down the ground, laying flat. Tuck your tailbone under, point your tailbone up towards, as best you can, towards the sky, like as a rainbow laser light shooting out. Tuck your chin, press your lower back into the ground, right? So if you pull your belly button in, this is core compression, or they call it hollowing. And then face your tailbone down, bring your lower back off the ground, kind of push your shoulders, your shoulder blade in the ground, and then we'll move back and forth. So you're going to inhale here. This is almost like a mini bridge. If you can see, there's room underneath, and then down. So I'm going to try to move my pelvis back and forth with an exhale and an inhale, and an exhale and an inhale. Core compression. I can't quite think of the word I want for that. Just back and forth. That's what always happens when I'm trying to search for the word. So my brain works like, do you want it? You can't have it. All right, back and forth. So when you squeeze together, you want to exhale because your lungs are kind of compressing a little bit. And when you open up, you want to inhale. There's lots of different breathing techniques. Let's go one more time. We're going to bring our knees into the chest, and we're going to roll up or push your way up if you need. And then we're just going to roll over onto hands and knees. So if you want to bring your legs around to the side, that's fine, or however you want to get in hands and knees. Now, cat and cow this time. Let's do at least 5. Now, again, tuck your tailbone under, round your back. Press your arms firmly into the mat and spread your fingers wide. Turn your fingers out just a little bit, if that feels good. Press firmly. Keep your arms straight. Tuck your tailbone under. Exhale. Drop your belly. Look forward. Tailbone to the sky. Shoulders away from the ears. Inhale. And then move back and forth to your own degree. Flexion, extension. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Last time. Inhale. And exhale. And just a little side waggle before we move on, because it feels good. Jump rope. All right. Sit down on your booty. I'm going to face you, cuties. And just sit as you like. So you can sit cross-legged. You can have your legs out, straight out if you want, or one leg straight out. Whatever feels good for your knees, your hips. We're going to do side stretch. Arms up overhead. One arm down, one arm up. Doesn't matter because we'll do both. Exhale. Try to keep that opposite sit bone down as you lengthen through that side, those ribs. And you may want to gaze up towards the bicep. So now we have cervical rotation of your neck, of your spine, and your cervical spine. I'm just closing my eyes because the sun's right up there past this beautiful palm tree. All right, we're going to come back up with an inhale. Get some length. Don't waste these. Brace to the core. Right, and other side. Transitions are important. Exhale. And look up towards the bicep if it feels okay. If not, don't do it. So try to get some length out of those upper ribs. keeping that opposite sit bone down, the opposite one where you're leaning, because that might want to, you know, kind of come up like that. Inhale, exhale. Oh, come on back up. Inhale. Now take one arm to the opposite knee and then roll down, chin to chest. If you want to reach that arm out straight away from you, so that's a nice QL, your back. These muscles that come up from your pelvis to your last or lower rib, quantum lumboris. Exhale. This feels so good. So it's a good stretch, good way to stretch them. All right, up overhead, inhale. All right, don't waste it. Brace and breathe. And other side, chin to the chest, roll down. Lengthen the arm if you like. Try to use those exhales to let go, pushing that opposite sit bone or glute, hip down away from you so you get that stretch. You just don't want it to pop up. You want to kind of lengthen away as you push it down. Inhale, back up, all overhead. Nice. Bring your hands down. All right, we are going to do a little more standing. We're going to do a few warriors. So we're going to stand back up. So I'm going to turn towards my mat, with the short edge of the mat. Tuck the toes under, into down dog. Meet me there. Look towards your hands and then walk your feet up to the top. We'll do more seated in just a moment. Roll on up all the way to the sky. Don't you worry. And then hands to the heart. All right, let's step back with the right leg. I have my scarf on here, so it might be a little more slippery than I want. So back leg is long and strong. You push that pinky toe in towards the ground, like you're having a little party, little ramp. There's a bunch of little dogs and cats coming up the back leg. And then you're going to turn the hips forward towards the short edge of the mat. Right? You're going to turn your shoulders in that direction too. You're going to bend into the front knee. The front knee stays over the front toe. So you don't want it to bow in. You want it right over. Nice long back leg. Rotate into the torso or turn forward and then arms up overhead. Now you can look forward or down or up or whatever feels good for you. You can have your arms apart. Good. Inhale. Let's bring the arms down and straighten the front leg. Exhale. Let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Now turn your arms, tee them to the short edge of the mat. Rebend that front knee. Lengthen through the arms. Squeeze your triceps, the backs of the arms. Squeeze them like two nice people are stretching you either side. Inhale. Look, gaze right over those front fingertips. And again, watch that front knee. It likes to bow in here. So keep it over the knees. Back leg long. Pelvis engaged. Inhale. Straighten that front leg. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Right warrior. Inhale. Exhale. Two more. Inhale. Knee right over the front toes. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Now come on back up. And all set to the toes. All 10 toes face me. And then just change sides. Bend the opposite knee. Lengthen the back of the leg. Pinky toes down. Of that leg, knee right over the toe this way. Warrior one, turn your shoulders towards the short edge of the other side of the mat and try to bring your front hip back a little bit and your back hip front. Arms up overhead with an inhale. Gaze up if you like. I'm not gazing up too far because the sun's right up there. I'm going to look in the forward a little bit. I'm going to breathe. Lengthen through your fingertips, ground into your feet. Bend into that front knee, lengthen that back leg. Just make some rotation with the torso or turn, some adjustments. Feel it out a little bit. One more breath here. Oh, we didn't breathe yet. Straighten the front leg. Inhale. Exhale. Now this might be opposite of what we did before. You know what? Inhale. And that's all right. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. But we're still moving with breath. We're still breathing with movement. Inhale. Exhale. And the ribs, inhale, are fine. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Come on back up. Turn the arms out. I'm gonna walk the back foot in a little bit because I got my scarf and it's a little slippery, but that's okay. Knee over the toes, arms straight out, gaze over those front fingertips, broaden through the chest. Just get some opening, like your hips are a book and they're opening up a little bit through the SI joints. Keep that knee from bowing in. Inhale, straighten the front leg, exhale. Nothing super major, inhale, exhale. And if this is challenging for you, back off, inhale. Do one every time I do two. Inhale, exhale. One more time, last time. Inhale, exhale. All right, turn towards me. I can check my notes. Oh yeah. So all 10 toes facing me. I'm gonna kick the heels out a little bit. We're gonna do forward fold, and we're gonna stay down for 5 breaths. So there's a lot of variations with the arms. In forward fold, you can have your hands on your hips, hands on the floor, outside the feet, or interlace behind the back for shoulder and a bind. So there's lots of different ways. Do what's good for you. You can go right and left when you're down there. So any kind of variations in wide leg forward fold. Let's take a deep breath up. You're going to hinge from the hips. You're going to keep your legs as straight as possible, arms out to the sides like a T, and then hinge from the hips. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. My heels are kicked out. I'm going to hinge from the hips, right? Keeping my legs as straight as possible coming down. Now, if the knees start to bend, back off and straighten your legs. We're trying to stretch the back of the legs. So as soon as they bend, we're not stretching them as much. So the heels kick out, hinge from the hips, down, over. I'm going to place my hands on the ground, tops of the head, towards the ground, and exhale. You can play with the width of your feet. So if it's easy for you to touch the top of your head on the ground, bring your feet towards one another. Now again, I like to kick my heels out, keep my legs straight, and shake it out. So you might want to walk your hands forward. That might feel good. If you walk your hands forward, try to lean your booty back, and that way you'll stretch through your lats, your spinal erectors. Now you can hear me kind of, Now it feels good because I've done, quite a bit of stuff while I'm in Florida because the weather's beautiful. So I'm stretching and it feels really nice. So in your forward fold, you might want to just hang out here. Maybe I'll walk to the right. Do a little bit of rotation with the torso. Again, if your legs start to bend, your knees start to bend, back off. Come up onto the legs a little bit. Try to straighten them out. Now I'm going to walk to the other side, on the left side. Because we're trying to stretch the back of the legs. So you might want to roll forward a little bit if you have your hands in front of you. You want to keep the weight kind of in the front of the feet. Not so much the toes, but the front of the feet. One more breath here. Inhale, exhale. All right, come back center. Kick your heels in. Micro bend in the knees if they're not already. And then roll up like that ragdoll style, one vertebrae at a time. Whew. Move the hair. Turn your toes all the way out. I'm going to step off my mat just for a minute. So turn your toes all the way out. As far as you can. Knees and toes travel together. So we don't want the toes turned out so far and the knees in. So turn your toes all the way that's good for you out. Cactus your arms. Take a deep inhale and then sit down into goddess or temple. Now if the knees are over the toes, widen your stance. Inhale, reach. Starfish. Exhale down. Inhale, reach. Exhale down. Make any modification, any adjustments that you like. If it doesn't look like me, don't worry about it. Inhale. You're extending, you're expanding, you're broadening, you're getting some room, right? Through the joints, even the fingers, toes, and exhale down. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, feels really good. And exhale down. And inhale. What do I got? And exhale. Oh, good stuff coming. Exhale. All right, release. So you're on the mat. Come back to the top of the mat. Turn the feet, both feet to the top. You're going to widen your stance, toes off the mat. Molasana, which is squat posture. So again, whatever you need to do to sit down into your squat and work on that. Maybe you need to lean forward, or maybe it's a high squat here and you're like, all right, well, I'm just going to step 1 foot back to come down the floor. You do what you need to do. All right, we're going to come all the way down. Woo. And then meet me on the back, all the way on the back. Remember, tailbone tucks under, chin tucks to the chest so you don't whack the back of the head when you come down all the way into bridge. Feet underneath the body. Knees bent. Arms along the sides. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Chin towards the chest. Maybe even bring the gaze towards the horizon of the knees. You like that? Horizon of the knees. Just to right there. Shoulders away from the ears. You can stretch out the neck a little bit. Now we're in bridge posture, or anything with the legs up and over. I would rather you not look right and left. So if you need to adjust or move your laptop or whatever, or the camera. So while we're in bridge posture, try to keep your neck straight, lengthen through the back, but try not to look right or left. So arms down along the sides, palms down. Lift up. If you want, you can have your feet and knees together, or you can have them parted, whatever you like. Trying to lengthen through the back of the neck, push the hips up. And if your knees have any strain, you can always turn your toes out a little bit and let your knees turn out, which will open your hips a little more, right? Because you're opening up, and breathe. So lots of different techniques. I'm going to interlace my fingers underneath my body and roll, tuck, and scoot my shoulders, squeezing my shoulder blades towards one another and then pushing my hips up. I like to turn my toes out a little bit and then lengthen through the back of the neck and breathe. Right? So we're stretching the front of the body, but we're engaging the back of the body. We're stretching through the shoulders and the back of the neck. Now you can do any kind of modifications. If you want to work some strength, you can lengthen the leg, or you can do either side, or whatever you want to do. You can even do, kind of a figure 4. I'm just going to hang out here. Anything you want to add in, add in. Anything you want to take out, take out. I'm just lengthening the back of the neck through the shoulders. One more breath here. I'm going to release the hands down along the sides, and then I'm going to articulate my spine by rolling down, tucking my tailbone 1 vertebrae at a time, right? Bracing through the core, trying to get my tailbone to be the last thing that comes down, even though my booty loves to touch first. That's why I'm really trying to roll all the way down. Oh, feels good. Pull the knees into the chest. We're going to roll like a ball again. So I like a little momentum. So when you're working the core, you want to keep your heels in, but we're just trying to have a little fun. So roll. We're going to go 5 times. Roll. And again, if you don't want to roll, you can do cat and cow on the floor, or anything that might feel good, like bringing the knees into the chest, which we'll do. And then let's go 1 more. Now I want to offer a stretch that's challenging. So we're going to just come up to seated for a moment. I'm going to offer a stretch that's challenging with shoulder stand and plow. You don't have to do that, but it's a great spinal stretch. If you're like, that's way too much for me, don't do it. Make sure the back of your neck also feels warmed up. So you chin to your chest. So it's going to stretch the back of the neck a lot. Going to be on the ground. Feet are going to be up. If you want a nice thing to do, as you can just watch for a moment before we get started, is that you can, and if you're watching this for a second time, you already watched it, you can go on to what you want to do. You can place a block underneath you, so you can do what's called rain stick, which is nice. Just get the feet up, reverse blood flow, kind of get some swelling out of the ankles or the toes, and so you can stay here. Legs up the wall, it's called. Or if you want, you can do shoulder stand, which you bring your hips up, place your hands on your low back, feet go to the sky. That's going to move over a little because my elbow's falling off of the mat. All right, so here, there's a lot in back of the neck stretch. Now, if you want to play with that, you can lengthen 1 foot down or not. You can bring your knees down or not. Or if you want to go into plow, you're going to hinge from the hips, bring the feet back. And again, don't do this if you're not ready for it, or test it out. So, ooh. And then you can always just release, roll down, hands to the mat, and then roll down 1 vertebrae at a time, coming into pulling your knees in. So just a little relaxation ball. Lengthen through the back of the neck, We're coming down. We're winding down. And breathe. Really? All right, let's see. Drop your knees to the right, arms to the left. Exhale. Use those exhales. Up and over to the other side. Inhale, exhale. Anything that might feel good. Come back center, pull your knees into your chest. Maybe grab behind the knees, lengthen the back of the neck, rock and roll left and right. If you want, you can grab the outsides of the feet and pull the knees down towards the ribs. And then again, rock and roll left and right, maybe lowering your tailbone down slightly, lengthening through the back of the neck, giving your back a massage. So, right, foam rolling is nice, myofascial release, any kind of tennis ball. If you have stiff muscles, you need to start to release the overactive or tight muscles, and we need to strengthen the underactive muscles. That's why we move in all different directions, because different muscles of the body move in different directions. All right, let's bring the feet together, soles of the feet together, and then drop the pinky toes on the ground gently, knees out, cactus the arms. Exhale, reclined, bound, angle. See how relaxed I am? Reclined, bound, angle. 5 breaths. So moving with grace, moving with breath, doing what's good for you. Different histories, different mysteries, and the histories and mysteries change. You know, if we have ailments or injuries, and we're all built differently. The way the femur bone goes into the hip socket, everything, our spines. But breathe. Even if I have to say, even if you fake it till you make it, right? You're like, I don't know how to breathe. It doesn't feel right. Just breathe. Do your best. You can. Someone told me once, I can't meditate. I can't do it. You can. You just need to practice. It might look different for everyone. As long as it feels good and it helps and it works. All right, one more breath here. Bring your knees together, soles of the feet on the floor. Stretch your arms up overhead along the floor. Stretch your legs away from you long, like a big long straw. Cross your right foot over your left and just bring your arms to the left. A little half moon or banana. And come back center. Uncross your feet. Cross your left foot over your right foot. Bring your arms to the right. Exhale. And then come back center. Bring your knees into your chest. Squeeze your knees into your chest. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Exhale. And again, start to roll back and forth. If you like, or just sit up to your own degree. You might want to roll a little more intensely now, or a little longer, because you're stretched out, touching toes. And I can hold on. I feel like holding on to my legs. So guess what? I'm allowed. Permission granted to do what feels good. I'm going to roll up to seated. I'm going to turn towards you. My screen is black, so I hope I'm still filming. It's always a challenge. Take a deep breath. Sit up tall through the top of the head. Close the eyes for a moment. Palms down on the knees, a little more internal. I like this posture to sit and ask a question when I need something, because you know best. You do. You just need to listen. Palms up if you're like, hey, universe, There you go. I need some advice. So either way. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. 2 more times. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. This is important stuff. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out. Let the eyes open up. Thank you so much for your practice. As we say, namaste, meaning my light to your light, my love to your love. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.